All right. Yep, there I am. Hot dog. Okay, so the video's going. Oh.
Hey guys,
Hello, hello.
what's happening?
Hello.
Hello, how's everybody?
Over to Harris.
Doing great, Mary.
Good.
Fine. How are you, Mayor?
Hey,
How's everyone?
very good.
Hi Dorothy.
Doing great, Attorney White Coleman.
How are you?
I'm good. Can I call you Dorothy now, or do I have to say it?
That's perfectly all right with me.
Oh, okay, thank you. James, what's happening?
It's all good, Mike. How you been?
Good. I'm trying to find my video thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, there he is.
Do you ever figure out your lighting at the church?
No, not yet.
Okay.
but it was a good price.
All right, once again, good evening, everybody. So good to see all of you on at this point. It is 7:30, so we will go ahead and call the meeting to order with a roll call vote.
Yes, sir. Alderwoman Barbara West. Alderwoman Tapman.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Alderwoman Reed. Alderman Carroll. Alderman Thomas.
Yes, I'm here.
Alderman Perry. Alderwoman Gales
Present.
and Alderwoman Avant Elliott. Alderwoman Avant Elliott. We have a call of 5 absent, 4 present, or 3 present, I'm sorry, and no quorum.
All righty, thank you. So we will not have a legal board meeting tonight where we can go through our agenda. However, it is always good to inform the community as to what is going on in their city. So what we will do is call on our departments to give an update to the citizens. And then at the end of that, we will have public comment. So we will go to number 7. The Public Safety Committee. Is there someone from the Public Safety Committee?
Sir, there was no official meeting, so there is no report.
All right, thank you. Image and Beautification. Parks and Rec Board.
Yes, the Parks and Rec Board met on September 21st at 7 p.m. at the Rec Center. We discussed the trim grant that we received from the Missouri Department of Conservation, some pool updates that still need to happen before the winter gets here, and the municipal park grant that hopefully we'll be hearing from about mid-October, early November, staffing updates. And that was about it. The next meeting is on Tuesday, October 19th. If any citizens would like to attend at 7 PM, we meet in the Recreation Center meeting room.
Mhm. So that takes care of the board, Park and Rec board and Park and Rec director. You combined.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give my update for the parks, my director update. So I'm currently working on a lighting grant through the Ameren program. So they have a lot of incentives right now to upgrade your lighting and HVAC, which I was talking with Jim from there, and he said those incentives are going to drop off at the end of this year. So he's kind of encouraging people that are looking to upgrade their lighting and HVAC to do so now while they have a lot of good incentives. So we had a company come out and do a kind of go over all the lighting in the rec center there. And we'd roughly save about $4,000 a year upgrading our lighting system, what we have now, to LEDs. And so that would be all the main hallways, the meeting rooms, the pool lights, and any other office, kitchen. We have a lot of lights that are really outdated, and so they just suck up a lot of electricity. And so if we can get these updated to LEDs, then we'd be roughly saving the city about $4,000 per year. It has about a 3.5-year cost recovery. So after 3.5 years, the lighting will have paid for itself in savings, and then we'd be continuing to save. So about 10 years, we'd save the city about $40,000 if we were to upgrade the lights now, with the estimated incentives that they're giving right now on material for that. The trim grant, we received that from the Missouri Department of Conservation. So we went out to sealed bids. We had two, Davies Tree Service and Gamma Tree Service submit bids. I'm submitted all that stuff to the Board of Aldermen for approval. And with the final numbers, Davy came in as the lowest bidder and had a contract that met all of our requirements in the bid form that was sent out. So my recommendation is to move forward with Davies Tree Service pending board approval. That work will be taken care of in November through March when our parks are closed for the season. Essentially, it'll take care of 11 trees throughout our city parks that are pretty large and in disrepair and a hazard to the community while people are in the parks. So we're hoping to get those taken care of this fall. The outdoor pool, Westport Pools, was out here today to finish up the winterizing. So that's all good to go for the winter time. Design painting is coming out in the next 2 weeks to take care of some warranty repairs from the renovation that we had in the spring that popped up over the summertime. We had a cleanup event with the Beautification Commission on September 25th. We had 32 volunteers came out that Saturday and picked up 115 bags of trash off our city streets. So it was a big, successful event. Keep an eye out for ones in the future. It was a great event to help clean up the city of Bellefontaine. And the streets are, you drive around, you see there's tons of trash and litter on there. So it was nice to see all those streets cleaned up, and hopefully the community can continue to improve on cutting back on littering and keeping Bellefontaine beautiful. So that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you very much. Street Department. All right. Yeah,
I'm here. Can you all hear me?
can hear you. Yes.
I'm there to get my video. Street Department has been busy cutting vacant homes, trying to get caught up. Last 2 weeks, we have taken down 3 trees. Gamma is in the process of a tree on Bliss we had contracted out, and then they will move over to Bluegrass for an additional tree. Starting to service vehicles and city equipment for fall and winter season. We also have 3 big projects to handle currently, that being hazardous sinkholes on Ashford, Bosworth, and Hoyt. We are doing them in order of importance. Currently, we're on 1200 block of Ashford, then we'll move over to 1100 block of Bosworth, then the 1200 block of Hoyt. Estimated completion, I will put at early November. We will then move forward with the fall schedule of deadwood and problem trees and sweeping of the streets. And I believe that completes my report.
All righty. Thank you. Chief's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My report is going to focus on the crime prevention and public safety summit that was last Saturday. It was extremely productive like it was previously. This year, we were able to get a representative from the Attorney General's office to come talk about identity theft and fraud. We also got the Drug Overdose Trust and Safety Group. It's called the DOTS Project. It's through UMSL and the Missouri Institute of Mental Health. They came out and discussed the opioid crisis, and they also trained people on how to use Narcan. On top of that, they will be our new source for Narcan for the police officers. And under this project, we're allowed to give Narcan units out to the community who needs them. Women's Voices Raised for Social Justice were there, giving away gun locks. I talked about some back to basic stuff, buying and selling vehicles, internet crimes, traffic calming initiatives. Bottom line, after going through the summit, I realized that the police department needs a resource page that people can easily access and go to and find a lot of this information that was provided to the turnout on Saturday. That will be coming up soon. So connections with the AG's office, topics such as social engineering, internet crimes, how to protect yourself. We're going to enhance that with those resource pages. And by all means, if you do have questions, call the police department on any of those topics.
Did you freeze up or you done?
I concluded my report, sir.
Oh, all right, thank you. All right, very good. Thank you for your report. City Attorney.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor. I am very pleased to report that the draft ordinance and forms that were prepared to enable the city to issue administrative search warrants and to better enforce its public health and safety ordinances has been completely vetted and reviewed by Judge Draper, Chief Eiler, Prosecuting Attorney Anthony Gray, and Building Inspector Joe Raven. So we have gotten input from all stakeholders on this ordinance and hope that it will very soon be on the board's agenda for approval. I would be happy to answer any questions there may be. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, we'll move down to the mayor's report. There's nothing new. We're maintaining. The city is still in good standing with all of our creditors, and our finances are good. The summit Saturday was, as Chief said, was a great success. The community came out. I think it was well over 200 that came through. I got good reviews from it from the public, which is good. The rain held off for a little while anyway, but nevertheless, we were inside and things went along okay. We're still searching for a new city clerk. I have not seen a resume yet that come across. There may be some. I'll have to search it out tomorrow to see what we have. And also was mentioned at the summit, this matter of Narcan. Narcan is a bill that was passed several years ago. And I'm proud to say that I was a sponsor and supporter of that bill. I, like many others who have family members who've overdosed on drugs, and Narcan would have been a lifesaver had they had it available. So things are going well and it can't do anything but get better as time go on. Thank all of you for your, especially our community, for their understanding under the circumstances, that we're not wavering, we're not, our knees are not buckling. We're going to see it through because that's what the people expect. And we will do no less. At this time, I'm pleased to have the board, if there are those board members who were present, to give a report if they care to. We need to just call the ones that were present. I don't have those names before me. So Madam Clerk, would you call those four, I think it was four that are present?
Yes, sir. Alderwoman Chapman?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I too want to make just a slight report on the summit. I really appreciate the support from the mayor and the chief, and it was very well. The information that was given out was vital to the safety and of our community. Also want to report that our new partners, we had 4 new partners we added on this year. One of them being Always Green Recycling. Miss Susan Barrett's sister, she called me and she was overly excited. They shredded 1,025 pounds of paper. And so she was wondering if they could be a part of our events. And I told her, I know totally the ones that that we will be hosting, she could. The other partners that we added that I'm excited about was Lincoln University, also Always Quails we added on, and the 2 that the chief added were Superb, and that's the AG department and Missouri Institute for Mental Health. So I want to thank the citizens for coming. This is our 2nd year. We created this with hopes of just doing it for 3 years. Our impetus is to make sure that every citizen that wants to retrofit their homes for safety and crime prevention, we want to be your partner in doing that. And I want to make a big announcement here. Our newest and biggest partner I am excited about is Amazon Ring Doorbell. They will not only be partnering with us with the Innovative Crime Prevention Public Safety Summit, but also with our city. So I'm excited, the mayor and the chief garnering that partnership that's going to help us get some of the things done that we want done. I'll be posting pictures, and I ask anyone who was present to do the same. And all of the data from all of the meetings we had, all of them were Zoom. All of that will be given in a final report on Nextdoor, the city's webpage, as well as I know the chief would want to post that on his page. And so that gives those persons who didn't get an opportunity to participate to see what happened. And we're going to be doing little things all through the year to gear up to the big event in October again next year. So that's my report. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, thank you. And pulling the numbers, the tickets out of the bag. The chief made it a fun time doing that.
Yeah.
He's turning out to be a pretty good little comedian.
Yes, I forgot we gave we had a generous donor who purchased 10 Pro 3 Ring doorbells for us to give away free. And that's going to be the product that we're going to try to retrofit every home in our city, Spanish Lake, Molina Acres, and we're going to be adding our sister cities next year, Castle Point, Riverview, and what's the other one, Chief? I always forget. Castle Point, Riverview.
So our
Yeah.
neighbors that surround us, so Riverview, Glasgow, Spanish Lake,
Glasgow.
and Castle Point.
Yes, so that product that we gave away free is the one that we're going to be partnering with Amazon Ring Doorbell to offer our citizens.
Very good. And from the chat, Ms. Goodman said that the Crime Summit was great. Congratulations with the 10 winners of the Ring doorbells.
Yes.
All right, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Alderman Thomas,
Good evening. Just like to thank everyone for coming out on tonight. And we attended the Missouri Municipal League had the conference for the whole state here at Union Station, the 26th through the 29th. And it was very informative, got a lot of networking opportunities, got to see a lot of innovative ideas from other cities and how they're connecting with their citizens. And hopefully we can bring some of those ideas into our community. Again, stay safe, wear your mask. If you haven't been vaccinated, get vaccinated. If you're eligible for the booster shot, get the booster shot. Above all, stay safe. Thank you. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Alderwoman Dales,
Good evening. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. We did attend the Municipal League and it was really, really good. The speaker was good. The vendors were excellent. A lot of the vendors and individuals within our area, they sent their prayers to the City of Bellefonte neighbors. And they hope things get better for us. Basically, that's it. We have a lot of people in Ward 4 who are very, very grateful for the barriers. They constantly call. They talk about how safe the area is and how quiet it is. And I just want to thank the neighbors for just working with me because they are very, very appreciative of the barriers and the things that are going on in Ward 4. I want to give a shout out to our most popular and high profile resident, Marcy Gooden.
Yeah.
He has putting some signs out in our neighborhood and everybody in Ward 4 and other areas are calling, wanting to know where we got them from. So if you ride down Dinky and Wardall, she got them from Amazon and she purchased them with her own money. We have other neighbors who are going to do the same. And that's just the camaraderie that we have, the togetherness that we have in Ward 4 working together. Hopefully next year we'll be able to have the National Night Out. Things will be better for everyone, the community, the United States, the world with COVID-19. I want to give a shout out to the mayor. He's been really, really helpful with a lot of things that we've been working on, and he's very supportive, and he's a really good mayor to all of us. And again, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
that was the last.
Oh,
roll.
that
That's the
that
last one, sir.
was the last one? Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. So we'll move now into public comments. Anyone from the public who wishes to speak may do so at this time.
Mayor, my hand is raised.
Mayor,
Yes.
this is Wanda Lane. I'm sorry, I don't know how to raise the hand or what have you. Is this the new process that we're going to now?
No, not for our citizens. You don't need to raise your hand.
Okay.
Just speak up. All right, Alderwoman Elliot, please keep this to a citizen comment. Go right ahead.
I don't know what that means, but either way,
I know what it means.
Oh, fucking childish.
either way, a couple of weeks ago, the board approved, through a special board meeting, the 2 new businesses in Ward 4, Your Kitchen LLC, which is a seasonal catering, grill and restaurant and food distribution on Lewis and Clark Boulevard, Joyful Nosh LLC. That will be at 9266 Lewis and Clark Boulevard. That was approved. And then working with Riverview Garden School District, they have posted food distributions every Thursday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Zion Travelers Church for those who are in need. And they do food and hygiene distribution every Wednesday from 2:30 until 3:30. And I will be putting in the chat some resources, 211 Castle, St. Louis County COVID information, emergency rental assistance. Anybody who had the summer pandemic EBT, it was extended, but the deadline is tomorrow. So if you want to get $375 per child, you will need to fill out the application. It looks very short. Urban League Head Start program is seeking teachers and assistants. If you're interested, you can email me at drvonelliott@gmail.com. There are spaces available for children, but not teachers. There is a teacher shortage everywhere. Even Riverview Gardens is also hiring for staff. Unaddressed concerns, as you know, as the mayor mentioned, the city clerk resigned. What would normally be required is a special meeting to discuss and address the vacancy. We have not had that. The board appoints and select that person per ordinance. We're still pending auditing firm contract, and none of the over 500s have been approved, although I have requested several times for it to be on a special meeting agenda. This will be an auditing concern. I'm still pending several requests. The list of commission members, the staff salary increase, increases based on the approved budget and the staff changes. Those items are pending. I do not have any citizen inquiries for me to respond to at this time. And that concludes my update to the public.
Thank you. Amy?
Mayor,
Amy Mulholland has her hand up, and then we're going on.
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I wanted to invite everyone to the Halloween dinner on Wednesday, October 20th. Tickets are $12, and that includes appetizer, dinner, and a beverage, but you have to have tickets in advance to be able to attend. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else from the public?
yes, sir, Mayor, this is,
Go right ahead.
can you hear me?
I can hear
This is
you.
Wanda Lane.
Right. go right
Okay, as a citizen, I find it extremely disrespectful and disconcerting that an elected official is actually on the DOA meeting and has not recognized the roll call. I don't know, all of this stuff is just absolutely disrespectful to the citizens whose taxes are used to pay the stipend, salary, whatever you want to call it, to people who claim they want to represent citizens and they don't. Now, I don't know what kind of authority you have regarding this and their salaries, because I'm going to call it money, salary, that is being used to represent the citizens, but these people are not doing that. and we've had enough of it. I read on Nextdoor that there are some citizens who want to meet with you to discuss the future of the city. I don't know what that means, because you've been very generous when you open our scheduled meetings to the public. And I think this would be the most appropriate time for citizens who are actually concerned about what we are seeing. We're not able to conduct city business. So it matters not one iota to me what Miranda Avant Elliott has to say regarding concerns from citizens, because our concerns are being presented to the Board of Aldermen, and we have a meeting scheduled. We have an agenda scheduled. So those concerns need to be brought up publicly and now. I know that you don't, because of who you are not going to mute this person, but I'm speaking for me. This is ridiculous. This is a citizen's comment, not an elected official who chose not to answer roll call comment section. I don't think that she should have the privilege of doing that again. It's disrespectful to the citizens. Regarding the comment on Nextdoor, that you have done very little, or you did very little as an elected official by another person who may be listening to this meeting. Since 2002, I think, or 2003, our state government has been dominated by one political party. That means that any other elected official is in the minority. And because we live in such a partisan time right now, unless you're of that party, it's almost impossible for you to get your bills or ideas introduced to the governor, to the Senate, to the House of Representatives, whatever. And we have a representative online who has made comments to these perilous times that we've been living in. I'm going to call it that. When I Googled your name under the Missouri House of Representatives, there were 51 bills that you either sponsored or co-sponsored. And there were little excerpts of what those bills were, 51. So when we have an elected official, James Carroll, making misinformation, disinformation, I don't know the new word out now, but lies regarding his opinion is fine, as long as you say, in my opinion. But when you make that statement as though it's fact, that is misleading the public. That is being deceitful, and that's not fair. We don't need James Carroll or anyone else to tell us who we're going to support. We support who we want to. That's the problem here. No one can tell the public who to vote for, who to support, and who not. That's basic civics. Basic. That's the government in which we live. It's called democracy. And it's not going to change because someone doesn't like who's holding office. So finally, I think if you're paying attention, Facebook is in trouble right now with the whistleblower talking about their algorithms and how they set up, how participants are responding. Nextdoor is owned by Facebook. And I'm cautioning everyone to be mindful of that, because we have so much distress and unnecessary hatred that's on that platform. And it just amazes me when I read that the alderwoman was so happy that some people had been dismissed from next door and how much more pleasant the comments were made. But then again, she turns around and calls the other elected officials heinous. So, you know, we need to stop this. It's not cute. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Representative from the school district, Ishmael Sistrum.
Thank you, Mayor Pearson. Appreciate it. And, you know, we saw each other at the breakfast the other day, and I told you I needed to start getting back to these meetings. So definitely wanted to be here today. Wanted to make one point of correction. And this was my fault. I know that Dr. Avant Elliott mentioned our food distribution. So that has changed. It's no longer at the Zion Church. Now it's the first Thursday of each month at Central Middle School and the third Thursday of each month at Westview Middle School. So it's rotating back and forth between those two schools, but we still are doing community food distribution. As she mentioned, we also, like everybody else, are trying to fill job vacancies. So we have job openings in pretty much every part of the organization: teachers, custodians, cooks, security guards, nurses. So if any of the Bellefonte Neighbors residents, or, you know, if you know anybody who's looking for good employment, you know, we passed Prop E. And so our employees got a raise over the summer. And so we have good positions. We have competitive salaries, but like everybody else, we're struggling to fill positions. So we're definitely trying to advertise that information. Also, we put out a COVID dashboard. It's on our website. So anybody who wants to keep up with the information on how many students are sent home, how many staff members are sent home, how many positive cases there have been, we're updating that information weekly, and it is on the Riverview Gardens website. And then the last thing, well, two more things to mention. One, for any parents in the district, and this will be in our upcoming newsletter, but I don't know how many people have heard there are a lot of interesting things going on online. We're talking about social media and online, and there are little challenges that tell students to vandalize things or to practice different bad behavior. And so we're just asking all of our parents to monitor their children's social media habits, make sure you know what's going on. Of course, we are putting our resources at work and, you know, making sure that the school district is safe and that everyone is protected, but we do need parents' help just to, you know what's going on with your students, with your children, because there are some things out there that are encouraging some bad behavior. And then lastly, just for the community, we have a lot of good things going on. Our parent advisory council, there was a meeting this past Tuesday. We had a lot of parents that come out, but we always want to get more engagement from our parents. We have a communications committee that's been ongoing, and that's still going strong. We've been going at it a long time, but working towards coming up with a comprehensive plan and had some surveys out. And then lastly, we had a event at Westview Middle with Karan Bolden, a motivational speaker, and we had a good turnout on that. So just stay tuned to our website. We're having a lot of good events, trying to build that community engagement. And of course, we want Bellefonte Neighbors to be a part of that.
Thank you very much. Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes,
Michael Weezy, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Am I supposed to say my address? Michael Weezy, 1300 Pershaw.
Yeah, give your alias. Give your alias name too.
Oh, Alderman, what is it? Oh, Alderman Emeritus. I think Dorothy gave me that name. So forgive me. I was just thinking the other day, I hate to say what I'm about to say because of people like Mayor Tommy, and I see Dinah is there, and I don't know whoever else does preaching for a living. but I want to piggyback on something that Wanda said. I recently read something on Nextdoor, and I get it, it's Nextdoor, but it was hateful, and I see, you know, it was name calling by somebody that's an employee of the city. But again, forgive me, because I really don't have, you know, any right to say this, but we have to be able to, I mean, the people that are in this meeting, we are Bell Fountain neighbors. This is as good as it gets. So we have to be able to look each other in the eye with mutual respect and know that we're talking from an intellectual perspective. You know what I mean? We have to, even if we disagree on something, we still have to be respectful of each other. It's the only way we're going to progress. Even when Dorothy and I disagree, we meet and we arm wrestle. You know, we just, that was supposed to be funny. So at any rate, I felt compelled to say that we just got to be nice to each other. It's just not, it's not a good strategy, and it's not going to do any of us any good. Sorry to be preachy. Thank you.
All right, is that, you're putting an amen right there?
What's that?
When you finish, you're supposed to say amen.
Oh, shoot. I feel like I don't have that right to say that. Maybe you should say.
Yes. No, you do have a right. You have a right.
Amen. Amen, I say to you.
All right, thank you so
All
much.
right.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public? All
I'd like to
right,
say something, please, Mayor.
go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mayor. Everyone in their respective places. My name is Leslie Wallace. I'm a resident in Bell Fountain Neighbors, right at Bell Fountain in St. Cyr. My family and I are still fairly new to the district. I have a daughter that attends Central Middle School, and I started attending this particular meeting months ago, actually. A couple of meetings ago, and I want to piggyback off of something the gentleman before me just said, but a couple of meetings ago, I left the meeting with an extreme migraine headache because there's been several meetings that I've attended, and there's been so much bickering that has been going on. At one meeting, the mayor actually had to shut the meeting down early because there was so much disturbance and bickering going on. And it's insane, it's crazy. How can we expect our kids to be the people we want them to be if us as parents are acting worse than them? When I got off the meeting, I told my daughter, I was like, they act worse than kids do. You know, it's ridiculous. We all are supposed to be coming together for one mutual goal. I live in Ward 4. My older woman is Dr. Miranda Elliott, and my family suffered 2 traumas since we've been since we moved into this neighborhood. One, we witnessed a man get shot in our backyard, and the bullet came through my fence, through my patio glass, across the room, and landed in the closet door in the basement, which is my daughter's play area. We were homeschooling at the time. This was like right after the beginning of COVID, and the kids had to start homeschooling. The basement is my daughter's play area. And by the grace of God, I had just called her up when I heard the shooting. If it had turned out any other way, it would have ended in a really bad situation. The second trauma I endured, my second oldest daughter was murdered. My older woman didn't even know me personally, but she reached out to me, and she has been a form of support and help to me and my family. I don't fully understand all the other stuff that I keep hearing, not just through this meeting, but other meetings. But I know that my older woman serves her citizens in her district, and I'm so grateful and appreciative to her. I just need all this unnecessary nonsense. I think a lot of stuff that I hear on here should be handled outside of these meetings. It doesn't need to be brought here. It's too much bickering and just utter nonsense. And I can't take it anymore. It needs to stop. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your comment. Let's see, anyone else? There's a hand up here.
Mayor, Marcia Good has her hand up.
You did have Marcia, I didn't see it, but go right ahead.
Thank you. And I just wanted to say that, you know, the Crime Summit was an awesome event. I think everybody really appreciated the Ring doorbells. even Peg. So I was really excited for her and Greg. It was just a really good event for everyone who attended. And I do want to say thanks for the kudos for the signs. They were just important because our street is just a speedway, like many other residential streets. But we walk it every morning. And, you know, now that we walk more often, we see more traffic and how fast individuals are actually driving. And so it was just an initiative that I wanted to do, always trying to make our community better. We've been in, you know, here 25 plus years. So we've seen a transition, but it just takes all of us as citizens to do something for our community. And that's just one small thing that I thought would benefit us all who travel this road. And then I'm excited to hear from the summit that Dinky and Wardorf was chosen through the pilot program for the speed humps. So can't wait till we see those come to fruition. And just thank everybody for joining. Leslie, I know you're saying the great things about Alderwoman Elliott, and I appreciate that. Sometimes, you know, we're all adults. We all have our own opinions, which we are entitled to. Some of us, we do need to learn how to work through conflict. And that's one of the things that we try to teach our children, how to deal with conflict. Those who are having issues in the street, that's the topic. We want them to be able to deal with conflict. And that's the thing that we need our board members to do. You got to learn how to deal with conflict. We know everybody will not agree, but there is some type of common, a line need to be drawn in the sand. And I'm with you on many of those thoughts. Can we stop bickering? But I know we're all passionate about our community in different ways. But you're right. It's time for them to come together and try to figure this out. And hopefully it'll happen really soon. That's all I have. Everybody be safe.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else? We do have rather, Genesis, are you still on?
Yes, I'm still here.
I just wanted you to introduce yourself because, you know, Genesis was put on the, what was you put on, my dear?
What did you ask me?
Somebody don't like it. Go ahead.
What did you say? Hold on, let me turn on the camera. I'm just coming from the gym, y'all, but I'm here.
Let me see. I have
Human relations.
Human relations, yes. Human relations. And I moved right over you because I didn't notice that you were on. Did you have anything that you wanted to say right quick to citizens? At least just introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Genesis Young, and yes, I am on the Human Relations Committee. And I just wish we could get along, y'all. Like I said before, when I first introduced myself, I wish that if there's anything that I can do, I would like to, as I'm listening to this meeting, talk with you, Mayor, about a couple of things. I talked to another alderman in Pagedale who was having some issues like this, and they needed some mediation. And so I'd like to talk with you about that if I can. But in the meantime, we all are adults, like the lady just said. And if there is anything that we can do to just talk to serve our community and do what it is that they're expecting us to do, we're letting them down in a big way. And if I can do anything to help, I'm here for that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your comments. Any other comments from the public? All righty. Once again, thank you so much for being on tonight. I really think it was a productive meeting. I enjoyed the comments from our citizens. Anthony Green, I saw your light come on. Are you trying to get my attention?
Yeah, I had a comment.
Go right ahead.
I mean, I share the sentiments of what everybody else has said. I think, you know, we've had an election, You know, the people have spoken, the board is impaneled, and I want to be clear, you know, from a citizen standpoint, it is not the objective of other alder people to try to undermine that. Whether or not certain people on the board felt that certain people shouldn't have won, or they don't understand that, their goal is not to operate in a manner that's contrary to what the people and the constituents of the city of Bellefontaine Neighbors has elected. I'm disappointed in the manner and the way that certain alder people have abused Nextdoor as their platform for fodder to try to make their point, because my understanding is that these individuals, all of them are getting a check every single month. They're supposed to be at these meetings. You know, we've had all the people who have not attended the regular meeting, which is this is one of, for up to 6 months. And I think it just really sits bad for individuals to knowingly and willfully boycott and protest a scheduled Board of Aldermen meeting that they have been elected to attend, to conduct business and to represent the people, and to knowingly not attend that and then go on to Nextdoor and use it as a social commentary platform to express their discontent, to express sometimes innuendo and slander and libel and some other things that are going on Nextdoor. I think just really sets a very bad, it sets a bad climate. You know, it sets a bad precedent for grown people to not be able to come to the table of brotherhood, but to once again negotiate their compensation check while claiming to represent the people. I think it just really sets a bad precedent. I think it sets a bad precedent when people continuously go to a court system to litigate some of their concerns with the city of Bellefontaine Neighbors and sue certain alder people on the board, but at the same time don't attend the very meetings that they have been elected to be in. I think to litigate with the city and then boycott the city and then claim to be a victim on the board of the city, all those things are very disturbing. They seem somewhat manipulative. They seem somewhat manipulative. And I think, you know, there just needs to be some intellectual honesty with all the people about what's really going on. I really have a problem with Nextdoor being used as just used as a interesting form to craft a narrative that doesn't show the complete truth, that doesn't show the whole truth. And I just think it just sets a bad example again for half a year that most of our alder people are so upset that they can't attend the meetings, but they sure have no problems negotiating the compensation checks they receive. I think there should be some consequences for it. I think it should be stiff. And I think, you know, they have a lot of reconciling to do. I don't expect anybody on the board to like each other. I think anybody in this room have been in a workplace when they have to work with somebody that they just can't stand. But as an adult, you push through that. You learn how to negotiate. You learn how to compromise. You learn how to work through your conflicts. And if you can't do that, you submit a letter of resignation to your employer and you move on. I think the way that all the people have held the city hostage for personal political points, it's very disturbing. I think the amount of how they've brought our legislation to a halt in terms of things being reviewed on the agenda. If they can't have their way, or if they can't have, you know, a certain voting pattern that they want, that they have pretty much brought this to a halt. There's been a change in the board between last year and this. And with that change, there has been a dramatic impasse that has gone on. And I think there's a lot of issues that they need to address. I think there's a lot of issues that they need to address. I haven't seen Alderwoman, and it's not to pick out just her, but I want to say to almost every meeting, and except for the emergency ones, I can't remember the last time I've seen Alderwoman Reed's picture on the board. You know, that's not to excuse anybody else who may have, but it's like it may have been 6+ months. Like who works at some place that's not on disability and misses 6 months worth of something and act as if that's normal? That's just very disturbing. I'm not saying she's not representing the people, but who does that? Who really does that? So that's my thoughts on it. I think there's a lot to the table that needs to be, you know, thought about. I think the entire board could use an interpersonal conflict management training. Every single person on the board, regardless of whatever letters they have in front of or behind their name, could use some training as a group about interpersonal conflict resolution and management. I think, you know, that they would benefit from that. So thank you, Mayor. That's all I have.
Thank you. Pastor DC Elliott.
Good evening, Mayor, and good evening, citizens. I appreciate when citizens speak up and let their voice be heard, because that's the most important thing that should happen. I would urge and encourage anybody to delve a little bit deeper into the things that they see, because a lot of what I hear is propagandized and agenda-based. When you talk about maturity and when you talk about making sure that you uphold to your responsibilities, there's more dynamics that go into it than what is being represented. I heard Next Door mentioned, and I know personally from watching comments that there were a lot of citizens attacking politicians and making personal comments towards them. I didn't hear very much about that on these calls, but if a person who holds an office says something, then all of a sudden there is a need and a necessity to bring that out. I'm wondering why there's not balance. If one action is wrong, the other one should be wrong. I listen to citizens make personal comments and mention older people's names specifically as if to call them out, and I find that very disrespectful. If those people don't call those older people, and for every citizen, your older people are available to you. If you have a concern, call them. Have a personal conversation, get an understanding, stop making comments and generalizations about what you believe is going on, and call them and find out. And then make your decision based on what it is that you feel from an educated standpoint. My only concern is that citizens sometimes don't take the time and they just listen to snippets of what people say, and they believe that to be true without doing any investigation on their own. So my encouragement to any citizen is to reach out to your older person, have a conversation with them, get an understanding about what's going on and why their behavior is what it is. And from that standpoint, make your decision and stop doing the very thing that you speak against by making innuendos about the behavior without having an understanding about what's really going on. All of us are here to support and make the city the best that it can be. And if there's things that are going on that you're unaware of because all you hear is propagandized issues that are being brought out, then you're not educated and you're not informed so that you can make a good decision. And then your comments don't come across as eloquently or intelligently as you may think. Call your older people, find out what's really going on. Come to special board meetings, find out about the process of how to get things done in the city. Find out what's really going on. And then from there, let your voices be heard when there's time to elect new officials. That's my comment. Back in your hands.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry. I know we don't want to belabor this, but as a citizen, this is part of the problem. I think that too many of us truly don't understand the way the democratic process works. As a citizen, I am able to be as critical as disrespectful, meaning not to curse folk out and use profanity. I don't mean it that way. But I, as a citizen, am really not concerned how my elected official receives what I have to say. My elected official works for me. My elected official is sitting in a seat that belongs to the citizens, number one. And I don't think a lot of us truly embrace that and truly understand that it's a privilege to be elected by citizens to represent them. The hierarchy has been switched around in some people's minds for whatever reason, and it is not, I mean 1,000%, not the way democracy was established. And we're not about to change that here in Bell Fountain Neighbors because some folk like or don't like each other for whatever reason. The elected officials, and I'm going to be specific because I can be specific because I'm the citizen. I can call anybody's name I want to and not be chastised for that because I am the citizen, period. But every elected official, the four who have decided that they're not going to attend our meetings, have been very clear on Nextdoor, which I agree with Mr. Green. I don't think that we should actually discuss our political processes like this on social media. Like I said, we see what direction that's going into, but we read very well. And every one of them, except for probably Alderwoman Reed, I haven't seen her like Mr. Green said, but most of them have stated very clearly why they are not attending the City of Bell, the Citizens Board meeting. They have made it very clear. And the stories range from the meetings, I don't like the way the meetings are held, the meetings are chaotic, everything is illegal, what's on the agenda is illegal, and all of that. In my opinion, and it's mine, and I'm entitled to it, it's a bunch of malarkey for not getting your way. Because I don't know about all the other citizens, I have been extremely active in my city before this administration. And I know what happened when there were 5 members who voted the same way. And if I want to call them a gang of 5, I can call them a gang of 5. That's my right as a citizen. That's what I don't think people understand, which actually was a parody to Gang of 8 in DC. And, unless you know that, it had nothing to do with street gangs, but I digress. It is our right. It is our right to hold our elected officials' feet to the fire. It is our right to do it. They've made it very clear. They're not in the majority, so we're not going to help the citizens of this city, because that's what happens when we don't have a quorum and able to conduct. We have scheduled meetings, scheduled regular meetings. Special meetings fall into a particular category. It's not just okay to do it. That's disrespectful to the citizens and the citizens' time. We who are concerned anyway, and I'm not making any of this up. So I would encourage citizens. I mean, maybe I was taught in a different time, and I don't know if they teach this in school anymore, but I know very well what my rights are as a citizen. And we are not operating outside of our rights as a citizen. I should not have to run my elected official down to ask them why they are not doing their job and honoring the oath of office that they took. That's the bottom line to it all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And again, thank all of you for your presence tonight. And I trust that you will have a restful night and a prosperous day tomorrow. Bell Fountain Neighbors is going up. I don't care what folks say or what they do. We're going to the mountaintop, and we're not going to stop here. Thank you all and have a good night. Madam Clerk, you may end the meeting.
Thank you,
Thank-
sir.